Under strict rabbinical supervision. Pizza Nosh, the taste that everyone loves. 718.
Shiny Hour on jrootradio.com. Enjoy. Listen to it every Thursday night from 7 to 8. Entertainment, exciting, and fun on this show.
Live from J-Root Radio Studios in New York. And yes, this is the Kishrani Hour. I'm Moshe Grunfeld right here with Rabbi Nisim Lazadi. And
Just Nisim.
Just Nisim. I'm here with Just Nisim. Anyways, yeah, and we have, as usual, an exciting show. Really, what are you going to do tonight? Shmelky, who invited you today?
I don't know. I came through your back door.
Very funny. I told you not to come this week. I don't want you here. You make too much disturbance.
I don't care.
Well, if you don't care, yeah, I'm not going to bring you up again.
You said the same thing last week.
Okay. Anyways, so yeah, last week's question.
What was last week's question?
I don't remember. That's the problem.
Oh, that's a big problem. Why? What happened?
Well, I don't have my computer today.
Oh, Schmelky, I'm gonna save you.
Schmelky, you're going to save me? How are you going to do that?
I am gonna get the information from your computer.
Well, you don't have my computer, do you?
No, but I do remember the question.
Oh, yeah? So what was the question?
How
Yeah, how?
How did Moshe make the menorah?
Oh, well, we're going to look back in 2 weeks to see if that was the question. But, yeah, that is a pretty good question. How did Moshe make the menorah?
He put it on the ear.
No, he didn't put it on his ear. Stop being silly.
He put it on his nose?
Oh, come on, Schmelky. Menorahs don't fit on noses.
Oh, okay. He put it in a fire.
He put what in the fire?
It's a good question. You're asking good questions today.
Yeah, I'm asking good questions today for you.
Oh, what's this week's question? Talking about questions.
I haven't thought about that, Schmelk.
Well, I did.
Well, can we give somebody else a chance?
Like who?
How about your friend Shmurry?
Schmerry? It sounds like cherry to me.
Well, we invited Shmerl here today. Right, Shmerl? Shmerl, are you with me tonight? Shmerl, that's not nice. Oh, come on. Okay, I guess you're on. All right, you're going to have to ask this week's question.
That's wonderful. I love asking questions.
So what is this week's question?
It says...
Yeah, I'm listening.
It says... Oh, I have a good one.
You have a good one?
Sure. This week's Parsha doesn't say Moshe Rabbeinu's name.
Okay. All right. You're right about that.
Why does it not say Moshe Rabbeinu's name?
Repeat the question again. I didn't hear it.
Why did Moshe Rabbeinu's name not mention this Parsha?
And who they're gonna text it into?
They're gonna text it into me, of course.
Schmelky, you don't have a phone.
Oh, they're not gonna text it to your phone either.
That's true. Maybe they are.
No, they won't. Anyways, the number is... What is the number, Moshe?
Well, that's why I'm asking you the number. I don't have my laptop here. I forget everything when I don't have my computer.
Oh, so how you gonna do the show without a laptop?
Oh, that's a good question. Schmelky, you're asking good questions today. What do you mean, how am I going to do a show? I'm doing a show right now. You're here.
Right, that's true. And I'm making it entertaining.
Yes, you certainly are. But let's give Beryl a chance, okay? Beryl. This is your question. Oh, and talking about questions, the winner will be announced next month. Adar Bays will be the big winner. So if you're listening to the show, Adar Bays will be the big winner, and you could text it in the answers to Beryl. Say the number 347-927-3279. Oh, you see that, Schmelky? He knew the number.
Hey, that's not nice to make fun of me.
No, I'm not making fun of you. I'm telling you he knew the number.
I also did.
Yeah, so say the number now.
347 927
Uh-huh.
8398.
Oh, Schmelke, you said the wrong number. I can't believe it.
Did I really? Come on, I didn't say the wrong number.
Yeah, you just did. It's 347-927-3279.
Oh no, I made a mistake.
You made a mistake, Schmelke. What mistake did you make?
I made a mistake that I didn't say your number. I said the J Radio's number.
Oh, so what is J Root Radio's number?
Well, if you want to listen,
Yes, if I want to listen.
you're going to call 7
Uh-huh.
1 2 432 4217.
Okay, Schmelke, say it one more time, and this time nice and clear and loud, okay?
7 1 2 432 4217.
All right, now what if they want to text during the show? And what if they want to call in to the show?
They're going to call 718 683 5858.
And now what about the texting part? We didn't say that yet.
Okay, the text 347 927 8398.
And how many threes are there?
Oh my goodness, Mikey, you're asking good questions. There's 2 3s.
Oh, yeah, let's see if you're right. And yes. Okay, and now getting to the show.
But Mikey, you didn't ask the question yet.
Oh, yeah. So the question was, Beryl, what was the question of what Schmelke asked? The question was, why is Moshe Rabbeinu's name not mentioned in this week's Parsha? Right. So, Schmelke, what was the question?
Why did I go swimming yesterday?
Oh, Schmelke, stop it. You didn't go swimming yesterday. It was winter. It was cold yesterday.
No, it wasn't cold. It was very hot.
Yeah, Schmelke, maybe in Florida it was very hot.
I actually have a friend.
Oh, don't talk about your friends right now. We're on the show right now. We don't talk about friends.
Oh, really? That's funny. Mikey, I have an announcement to make.
Oh, no, not your announcement.
But this one is a good one.
What?
Well, you know,
What do I know?
we're forgetting something.
What are we forgetting?
Well, the junior reporters.
Oh, well, Schmelke, you want to be a junior reporter?
Well, the weather today is 43 degrees.
Oh, that's wonderful. Beryl, how about you? Do you want to be? No, I am stage fright. Oh, come on, Beryl. You're not on stage. You don't got to be afraid of it. Well, anyways, I'm gonna be a little junior reporter because I have names to be misfollow for. Oh, okay, Beryl. Say some of the names, please. Neeson says no more names. Anyways, we're going to please be misfollow for Ari Leib Ben Bela Rachel, Ariella Natana Bat Chana Zahava, Binyamin Zev Hakoyen Ben Sharoni Rivka, Chaya Meir Ben Rina Leah, Schmelke, Chaya
Shalva Gabriela Bashani
Aliza. Okay. Now, we talked about last week. It was a famous yurtzeit. Do you know whose yurtzeit it was last week? So last week's yurtzeit was very interesting. The Shach, and that was, as I said, it was a really famous story. It was a famous story about it. It was a really famous story. Yeah, that with the Shach's daughter. Now we're going to we're gonna. So that story was like this. Just a recap of that story. Just a recap of that story. We what do you call it? When I said the story yesterday, it was a very very interesting story, and people who what do you call it? The Shach was a Talmud Chacham, a huge tzaddik, and we had the Shach, the Shach's daughter. What happened was he had a fire in the palace. Wait a minute, how did the Shach get? Yeah. You can come right in, Menachem. Menachem can come right in. We're Rabbi Yisrael Gold. And actually, Menachem does Giggles. Giggles is an organization, and we are going to find out what type of an organization it is. And we're going to also speak to Rabbi Gold over here. Welcome to our studio. I know it's a little crowded. And yeah, so first of all, what your connection to the organization Giggles?
I'm a volunteer. I work together with Menachem, and
Uh-huh.
I've been lucky enough to come along.
Right.
some of the work.
Okay. So Menachem, tell me, what is this organization Giggles? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do about Giggles?
Okay, GIGGL basically is an organization that assists children who suffer from cancer and other life-threatening illnesses. Basically, the main thing we do is make custom parties for children and their families. We have amazing food, entertainment, video, photography, and much, much more. And people have for the rest of their lives.
Right. Wow. I actually I saw some of the pictures, and as a matter of fact, we see the pictures right here. If those of you are looking at it, we have the paper right here. It's a very interesting newsletter. You put this together yourself?
Yes, sir.
Wow. So going back to Rabbi Gold. So what more can you say? What do we do about Giggles, and how did you get to join such a organization?
It's funny. Menachem called me up one day and it says to me, "Surely, I need a lighting guy, and you're the lighting guy. You know how to set up the lighting." So Menachem, lighting? He says, "Yep, lighting." So I said, "Okay, we'll do lighting." We come down to a party, an empty room, starts out an empty room, and you wouldn't believe all the stuff that Menachem brings over there to transform this into a special event, super special event, down to the lighting, all kinds of strobes and LEDs, and make these ones higher and these ones lower. It just helps to transform the whole room, make it into that party feeling or that simcha feeling, from an empty room, and it's wonderful.
Right. Okay. Going back to Menachem. Menachem, unfortunately, I did not even ask you your last name, so this is very rude of me.
That's fine. My name is Menachem Tzvi Roseman.
Menachem Tzvi Roseman. Okay. Now we got the name. So I see here that you went to hospital. You go to hospitals.
Yeah, so basically we also go to hospitals. We have volunteers that go with the patients and see what they need, what has to be done.
All right.
We make sure all the volunteers are vetted and that each one is perfect for the situation.
All right. So that's very, I found this organization very unique in a way that we go to hospitals, that this organization goes to hospitals. And, I've seen videos of the people who do the window cleaning, and they would go to hospitals and they'll post a picture with them on the phone. And it would be funny that they would do the soap thing.
One day, Menachem.
What customs do you bring with, who dresses up? Does Rabbi Gold dress up? I mean,
Rabbi Gold doesn't need to get dressed up. He's just an amazing person, even without getting dressed up. He just walks in, everybody's happy.
so tell me, do they have since you visit these kids, I'm sure, every kid has their talent. The kishron means talent.
Mm-hmm.
Every child has their talent, and I know for sure that most of these kids, if not all of these kids, have their unique talent. So you want to tell me in the hospital? I mean, maybe you also go to houses. I'm pretty sure, or homes. In these homes and houses, do you find that they have a unique talent? Do you see like they have some type of a talent?
Well, first of all, any human being that goes through what they go through, and he's able to smile, is able to even get through it and not give up, that in itself is an incredible talent. Because most people I know who go through even half of what they go through just give up right away.
So
That's number one.
wow.
But basically, the main thing we focus on is these parties. Just give you an example of what the party is that I discuss with the parents. It takes them about a month to put together each party.
Wow.
I discuss with the parents the favorite food of the kid, of the child, the favorite music, favorite entertainment. And basically what we do is, whose name is Danny Weinreb. He lives in Muncie. He's the Schnitzel guys.
Okay.
And we discuss different ideas. We work crazy amount of hours on putting it together. And like Rabbi Gold said, we have the lighting, We have a video photography. So basically, the patient and the family goes home with everything. It goes for whatever it is. They have it for the food that they like.
That's,
we have entertainment.
That's really unbelievable.
I make a custom cake for each party, each kid. If you go to and this is obviously free for the patient and the family. And we have about 70 people per party. So the thing is, when a patient goes through something like this, the family's going through it also. People don't realize, like, oh, the patient needs to take out. The patient needs this.
The kid going
so
through
the reaction,
right?
Yeah. So the reactions we get from the family. You knew this is the thing.
Microphones here, but yeah. Go tell us some
Fortunately,
words.
why unfortunately? One is fortunately.
Unfortunately, what do you mean?
Fortunately, we eat.
If I eat before a show, my voice gets sore.
Okay.
I'll just tell you that from the time the preparation starts until the family comes into the room, and then once the family comes in, they start to look around a little bit, and they kind of, you just see that they're just transformed. They realize that the prizes are there for them, and they realize that the fun station, I think one time it was Build the Beer,
Build the Beers, yeah.
all the different
that type of stuff.
stuffings, and just a lot of fun things to do.
Right.
There's the some nice backdrops to take pictures and photographers. There's no more trouble right now. For the moment, the trouble is away. The pain is away. The pain is away from the patient. The pain is away from the family. The pain is away with the just by the greeting that Menachem gives them, that they get from the volunteers. The volunteers come in. Usually, it's like sometimes like 15, costumed volunteers at running a party, and
15 volunteers. You just said. I'm
Yeah,
sleeping,
I've seen
It all depends on the situation.
situation. Okay.
just everybody in costume and coming in, and it's such a simcha in the room that you just know that for that moment, that machla, that issue wasn't there, and when you see that, you only need to experience 10 to 15 seconds of it. You already know that when Menachem calls for the next party, you'll be there. You'll
Right. So how would let's say a regular child would meet one of these children, these amazing children who are unfortunately not, they have these yenamachos. What should they, how should they treat such kids? How can they, make them feel good, in a way?
Well, here's the situation. I'll be honest with you. This is something like anything. It's either you have it or you don't have it. So some people have it. They could be 12, they could be 40, and they can make anything transform unbelievable. Like if a gold walks into a room, you're happy no matter what situation you're in. Right. Yeah, some people I've seen personally.
Right. When he came into the studios, my smile lit up. Right.
There you go. See,
right
there
away.
you go. Case in point. However, I've seen many terrible cases where people come in. They're not good at this. They might be the most amazing, special people, but they come in and they make the patient feel uncomfortable. So what I do is I always vet the volunteers before they come in or before I send them anywhere. I don't just send people out there. And to be honest with you, if someone has it, I don't have to do anything for them. They walk in there, they're the life of the party.
Right.
Let me ask you a question. How it's starting? That's I just want to get.
That's Nissan was that.
Yeah, I know Nissan. I know Nissan for many years already. We were busy on Facebook. I schmoozed him a lot. Yeah.
Okay.
He doesn't know it's me, but yeah, I schmoozed him. I give you the long story or the short part.
I want to get our kids listen now, get inspiration from all these stories, and it's really inspire story. I really want to get into this about them.
So I'll make it a short part, and if you have questions, I'll make it longer.
Great.
Basically, many years ago, there's a family I know that his name was Yisrael Landsman, Rabbi Yisrael Landsman. I don't know how many people know him. Many people do know him. He used to live in Muncie, and he used to have like animal shows. He had snakes and monkeys and grills and cows. Exactly. Anyways, then he moved to Eretz Yisrael, made Aliyah, and I think it was like 12 years ago. I don't remember exactly. The daughter was diagnosed with a chest tumor at age 14. Obviously, they're busy in Eretz Yisrael. There was someone working, so I was basically tasked with, helping out the family to the best I can. So I don't say 24 hours, but quite a few hours a day. I was driving this one day. The family was coming back and forth from Israel and stuff. Everything was great. For 5 years, she suffered terrible, terrible things. I'm not really sure how many details you want to give on that, but she suffered greatly. And then I saw that, let's say 2 years into it, I saw that there's no parties out there. Nobody makes parties. And there's a need for these kids to cheer them up. So I started doing little things. I took out the family to different bowling alleys or wherever they wanted. I took them out to Queens and to all these different places. 4 years into it, the father was diagnosed with horrible cancer as well. So, like I said, a long story short is that I was there literally every night in the hospital with them, especially when the father got sick. And I was bringing them suppers and food and guests and this, and I was there for Shabbos, and I'm not trying to brag. I'm just saying this is what I was doing.
I understand.
I think it's
that.
a miracle half the time I came home and I didn't fall asleep at the wheel. So Baruch Hashem, I was able to do it. I think it's a schus I was able to do it, and I hope it's a schus. And after he was nifta, I decided that I've been doing it for so many years. Why stop now? So Baruch Hashem, I enjoy simcha. I enjoy making people happy.
Right.
I enjoy music. I enjoy all that kind of stuff. So I just figured, why not? Why stop now? So Baruch Hashem, I have a Rabbi in Eretz Yisrael. His name is Rav Aaron Kurkotsky Shlita.
Okay.
I know many people don't know him because he's like Rabbi Gold, very low key. Not many people know his cheshivas and stuff.
Oh, people like Rabbi Gold and these other Rabbanim would be out there. Hey, everybody would want to get to know him.
Exactly. But this Rabbi Baruch Hashem, I would say he's the Lam of Tzaddik. Unbelievable what he does for people. Anywho, so I told him I need a name. So he came up with the name GIGGL. Stands for giving inspiration, giving the gift of life. And in the beginning, I was like,
I thought the name is like, okay, giggling.
Yeah, so basically it stands for that. And Bedavka left off the E, so people should start asking, hey, 1 second, it's not spelled right. And then they ask questions. So Baruch Hashem, he's the Rav I ask all the shilas to, and Moshe Shiva, which is our Zev Lef. I don't know if you know him from Eretz Yisrael. So he's Moshe Shiva, and so those are the two Rabbanim who we ask shilas to. Anytime there's any kind of questions, I call him, he's on speed dial. And basically that's how it started.
Amazingly, really, you know what the Mishnah said, אלו דברים שאדם עושה ואוכל פירותם בעולם הזה, והקרן קיימת לו לעולם הבא. And one of them is ביקור חולים. It's amazing. I'm jealous on your part. This is something that very important. It's really impressive, and I just, it's an unbelievable, great idea. So I want to get some stories, like really that cheer you up and cheer the chole and the chola. That a good story. That's if you can tell us.
Let me start off this way. First of all, is that I don't know how many people actually do it. However, is that if you actually do the big and stuff, you gain more than the chayil himself gains, he or she, whatever it may be. Okay, you walk in there and you come out there and you made them happy, you feel like $1 million. So it's not, the great story. Every time you walk out of there, it's a great story. Every time you walk out, you see someone who's so sick or not going to make it. You walk out, wow, Baruch Hashem, I'm happy. You start appreciating your life. You start, there's so much you gain out of it. So that in itself is a good story. But there's many parties that made. I had one that unfortunately they didn't make it, and they made a scrapbook of the party. And the mother comes over to me during the shiva and says, "Listen, I know it's a weird thing, but this is the highlight of my shiva." She showed me the party pictures. There's story after story after story. I can't.
That's unbelievable.
We had miracle stories. Like I got a call for a boy with a brain tumor in 5 towns.
Oh,
and
boy.
the what?
Wow. Oh my.
Yeah.
Let me ask you. So let's say these kids also do they go to school? Let's say they get a little bit. Do they go to school afterwards? Do you do house calls?
Do I have no? Once they're basically back into society, they're I can still stay in touch with the parents, but I'm not because there's so many other kids now that need it. I can't be I can't be in touch with.
You can't be running around.
Exactly.
Right? Yeah.
So I'm there from let's say in the beginning when they get cold, till after the party. Let's say a few months after the party. But I still have people calling me and texting me from 3-4 years ago saying, "Wow, that we still can't get over that party. That was amazing."
So those type of things would the taka is a really big thing, and so Rabbi Gold, so you joining this organization, what was the feeling of you first joining the organization?
Like anything, I was a little apprehensive. GIGGL and Menachem. I knew if Menachem was doing it, it's got to be good, but till you see it, till you come down, And the moment I really knew that I like to associate myself with GIGGL was the moment that the lights went off in the room and everything is set up and the food is out there and people start walking in. And then right then, you just know. I'll just mention, yes, like a little bit about some of the stories, maybe some of the lighter moments, some of the heavier moments.
Okay.
There's preparation that goes into everything. You can see in some of the clothing, maybe like the
Some
red
of the
like the
things,
red
yes, I
suit
see
and some
over
of the
here.
different
It's
things over here.
unbelievable. Some
Really,
of the
really
pictures.
tremendous. So, you need to go shopping for these things too, and you don't really, you don't go to
It
the
must
regular
have
stores
taken
to
at
get these
least
things.
30, 40 hours a week of these pictures. I'm saying everything that's being done must have taken at least 40 hours a week, right?
It's a
No?
lot of hours.
There's tons of detail, and the planning the parties too is also very exciting, and it's a good part of it. Rabbi Landsman, who Zecher Tzadik Levracha, who inspired Menachem so much to come down this way, he himself has mentioned that talking about being in a certain machal, in certain wards in the hospital where no one's allowed in, and over there he was able to make Bali Tshuva. And he says that if he didn't have this machla, they never would have let him in the first place.
It would never.
And that's how he walks out. That's how he deals. That's what he get. That's his impression when going through such a difficult time. And that's what his inspiration to us. Inspiration is that everything it's from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and there are no mistakes. A lot of times we get to see the hashkacha, we get to see what it is that happened. We get to realize, a lot of times we don't see why, we don't know why, but when we hear from the people themselves who go through, and they say such incredible things, one example is just some medication makes a person itch, and one patient was saying that they can't understand, what's with this itching, like everything they're able to accept and understand, this itching is terrible. And then they look at me and they say, you know what it is? It's a lesson in self-control. That's the reason for. That's what we're going through. And you look at them like these are malachim. These are really malachim. These people. How can they go through, like you asked, go through so much, but be so besimcha? And that's what it inspires us every day and carries us through, and brings us to the next party, to the next event.
Yeah. So we're speaking to Menachem. I keep up. Menachem Roseman from GIGGL and Rabbi Yisrael Gold from GIGGL. And we have these papers. If you want to buy cards, you can order them. Where do you order these cards? Talking about these cards.
So basically, the Purim cards was.
They look stunning.
Well, basically, the Purim cards are a new item. It just came out this year. I spent literally over 60, 70 hours putting it together. We kept making changes to make sure that it's perfect. There's a few things to know about the Purim cards. Firstly,
you know what inspires me about this card? Right here, guys. This card, you see that kid in the middle, this Yana Machla patient with that smile. That's what's inspiring.
Yep.
But yeah, continue.
Okay, so basically, there's a few different things to know about these cards. Firstly, is that on most cards, actually, in all the organizations, I saw it said in lieu of Shalach Manas, which to me, I didn't like that because it's a little misleading. You have some people.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. Between us, we know you have to give Shalach Manas.
Right.
But there are many people that we deal with that are not religious, that don't know the difference. They see, it says in lieu of Shalach Manas, I don't have to do that. So I took out those words.
Mm-hmm.
I made a whole nice setting on the back. So now also, in addition, you could even put it in the Shalach Manas. That's number one. Number two is that I'm also giving, for the same price, a beautiful, it's called a soft ivory envelope.
Okay.
Not just the basic cheap envelope.
Okay.
I spent a lot of money on those because we want to make sure that you get the best of the best.
These are wedding invitation envelopes, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we paid a lot of money for them.
Right. So, let's say if I was, do you see them? You don't see them at home, right?
See what at home?
Do you see these kids at home? You don't do the house.
Usually not.
Now, right?
Usually not.
So, did you ever do a bar mitzvah for these kids or any of these? Well,
No.
Not
we
yet?
never did a bar mitzvah. Not yet. You know what I'm saying? One time we were supposed to do a bar mitzvah, but it was over about 20 grand, and I can't afford that. It's above our budget.
Yeah.
I would love to, but
Because this is amazing. Anyways, for if people are listening, where can they send the donation to? Let's say people don't have online internet and stuff like that. What do we do?
okay. So first of all, yeah, people can go online. They could order the cards or make a donation online at giggl.org, GIGGL.org. Or they could, if they want to make a donation, they can send it to GIGGL at 515 East 9th Street, Brooklyn, New York, 11218.
So you're located in Brooklyn,
Right in,
locally. That's
correct.
That's unbelievable.
And if someone wants, we have pushkis, we have a small pushkis, we have big pushkis, whatever they need.
Wow.
515 East 19th Street.
East 9th Street.
East 9.
515 East
Rehov
East
Tesha.
9. מזרח 9.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Wow. This is beautiful pushka. So how many people do you have, let's say, in the organization itself?
What was the question?
How many people in the
Involved. How many people
Involved.
involved? Sorry, just involved.
Nisam,
Nisam's on top of the game. You don't play games with him.
Right. Believe me,
I'm sorry.
I
I
sometimes
don't-
try to play
So
games
bad.
with him, but he's always on top of me. But yeah, which is a great thing. How many people do you have involved in this organization? 40, 50?
Okay, so the way it works is as follows. At the moment, the main person is me, obviously.
Right.
And as time goes on, if I need some third party, I call people out to get them. The problem is I don't have an office, and I don't have like anything like that. So
Okay.
I can't have people coming out to my house. It's not going to be good.
Welcome to the club.
Today,
One
I'll
band.
just address-
One.
Today, people are very big into the roadmap. They say, well, that's on the roadmap. So you mentioned some very interesting
What is a
points.
roadmap? That's
The
number
roadmap
one.
is the direction that the organization, from where it is today and where we project ourselves to be, say, in 12 months from now, 18 months from now, 24 months from now.
Right.
So these things that you mentioned, like Menachem said, right now the organization is really limited to hospital visits, to patients who would be in the hospital and come out to the parties, and it's really mostly children who it's geared to make bring a lot of simcha to them. Like Menachem said, unfortunately, one of the children wasn't around much longer after that party, and by the shiva, the mother said, "This is what we have. We have the beautiful scrapbook showing the memories, showing the costumes, showing the nice lights and the fashion things, and that's how we remember our child, as opposed to remembering them only with a bed,
Only with
and
sick
everything else
and
that goes along with it."
right.
But on the roadmap, obviously, is to have some people hopefully assist a little with the organization and be able to do more parties and more often, with more frequency, including more special parties. Say the bar mitzvah. A lot of those are really personal family things, but the bar
Right.
mitzvah or the bas mitzvah, that's definitely something that we like to do. And
So let's say a child, right? I'm sure kids would love to join. Sometimes these type of things, they'll get dressed up and stuff like that, because the kids actually know how to get people happy. What would you suggest to children coming to the hospital? Like, what would they say to these patients to make them feel good?
sometimes just the fact that we're with you, that's what makes them feel good. A lot of times, it's not necessarily the the the
Not
thing
necessarily
that
the
you
words of
do,
comfort.
or the joke that you say. It's
Mhm.
sometimes just the fact that you're there. One famous story. It's not about us, but it's about people who go to the hospital. Similar people who have gone to cheer people up, and the father said over the story that the guy came to sing, couldn't sing. The guy came to
Mhm.
dance, couldn't dance. But after a few minutes, he saw his daughter's face lit up, and she hadn't smiled in weeks. They were so nervous, and all of a sudden, to us, it's not so funny. It's not so entertaining because we have all types of entertainment available to us. But to the patient that's there, that's waiting for the next injection or the next whatever the next thing that they have to do is, and somebody else walks in, that just brightens up the day. And then anything that you can do along the way, come with a smile, put on a funny tie.
Right. So children could join your organization, yeah?
There are children that do volunteer at some of the events.
Oh, that's
They assist with
that's very
setting up,
interesting.
with running some of the stands, running some of the things that they're doing, giving out food and serving. And
So let's say
Definitely.
children do want to join. What would they do? Or how would they join?
Okay, so
that
firstly,
question is geared to you,
No problem.
Menachem, right?
It all depends. Because the thing is that it's not black and white. Everything we do, every party is customized. Every party it depends on the patient, depends on the situation, depends if we have so many people from the family want to volunteer. So then we don't really need it at that party. We need maybe other things.
You wouldn't need necessarily the kids at the volunteer.
And also, when you say kids, what do you mean? What age? Kids can
Well,
be 8.
It's, this is, I'm sorry that I'm jumping. Kids,
ahead.
first of all, I know that in the Gemara, you're talking about Bikur Cholim, why it's so important, because I think Rabbi Akiva said that when you visit a Chole, you take from his illness quite a big chunk of, ill, and it creates him a better person, and we know the soul is
unbelievable.
I'm here behind the microphone trying to make, and I let them to join here, and
You know what,
maybe
Nisa?
make a show for this key, show that we had one time.
Maybe we can make a hookup
Yes,
one
maybe
time.
we can make
Can we
show and
make a
make and
hookup
bring.
one time? What do
I
you
know,
say, guys?
and I can tell you that J-Root Radio is a big part of old age houses and hospitals, as the people playing this all the time, listen to us and listen to music, and we have evidence about it. This is something very, very important, that to channel our positive energy to these people, to that need it, beside בשאר כל חולי עמו ישראל, but this is, we have all this. Sorry that I'm jump over.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
You mentioned
Yeah.
a good point. You mentioned that it says that when a person, they hear about somebody else's tsar, then they take away 1/60th of the it's already of the refuah. And the question is, well, let's say somebody has some type of problem with their head. I'm not a brain surgeon. I don't know. But so how does it
Right,
help?
that's what most kids will think, that, hey, I'm not a surgeon. Well, what me going to visit a child that's not well? What is that going to do for me? I mean,
And maybe that's why Chazal needs to tell us this, because us as me, it's not so obvious. No. You just going, or you just listening, you just partaking. That already is a part of the cure. That's already a big part of the of it's already a part, and you can actually sometimes kind of see it physically, because you can just see, at least the time that you're there, you can see some of the tension just kind of roll off of the patients and the family.
I think it's a scientific proof that basically the what do you call, the spirit of the patients is it's crucial on here. And I know that they develop kind of machine that checking the spiritual level and illness. And then when they found it, that where you are in higher spiritual and our in a higher mood, you're much better and on the ill. And as this is part of the creation of Hakadosh Baruch Hu, Avinu Shebashamayim, He create us an unbelievable machine that help us to heal ourselves.
okay.
I just want to say one thing. I might be
Yes.
wrong, but this is the way I
Yes.
feel. When it comes to organizations like this, and this I tell
Okay.
everybody, because some say, "Oh, I don't have money, I don't have this."
Right,
So I always tell people, listen, when it comes to an organization like this,
right.
everybody can do something. If you don't have money,
Definitely.
you can help out this way, you can help out that way.
You
There's
could
so
give
much a
party,
person
you
can
could
do.
give something to eat.
Now,
yeah,
it's not
right.
always, for example, he's saying to all the kids who go to hospitals and that some kids can't do it. They
Right,
can't. They go, they're scared, they don't want to see something like that. So they could go help out the family with cleaning the house, help out with the kids.
Of course,
There's a
right.
million different things for kids to do. So just to send everybody to the hospital, I'm not for that.
Right. You don't have to do that. I mean, obviously not that way. But you do have occasions that kids do get better, and they're sometimes in the
I
school.
hope all of them get better, Mr. Shem.
Well, we hope so too. And we have let's say they're, some when they come back to school. What would be the wording approach? Let's say for the child not feeling comfortable in the school. How would the other kid make him feel like he's what could they say to them?
When it comes back to the school, first of all, it's a while after I'm finished with them. Hopefully they get better. But Baruch Hashem, we're all Yidden. And from all the stories I hear, they make the kid feel like $1 million. So I'm not really worried about that part. If it was public school is one thing, but in yeshiva or Beisak or whatever it is, I can't imagine anybody
That's
saying
very
something
rarely, right?
not to make them count. They'll probably make them a party, jump for joy, and make them feel like $1 million. So I can't imagine anything otherwise. So the schools that I'm not worried about.
Yeah,
Right.
we just saw this week somebody, Baruch Hashem, got a very good basura, and they came into shul Friday night, and the Rav stopped what he was saying and wished the Mazel Tov, and the place erupted in singing and dancing. And when somebody comes out of a matzef, it doesn't matter what the matzef is. We're all in this together, and we all feel like we're in this together. Some of us, like Menachem, are proactive, and even when someone's in a very big down situation, they reach in a hand to go in and help them. And others just let us know, just let the patient know, or let someone know that they really care, they really feel, they've really been dabbling the whole time by their reactions when they come back into society, and hopefully they do. And we do see everybody that's listening, that's watching, should know we do see Yeshua Hashem Keharif Ayin. There are a lot of people who Baruch Hashem get better. people do get better, and like Rabbi Nissim said, it's a part of the refuah, it's part of that process, and our hope and our wish is just that everybody should get better. We should
Amen.
we should see the times when there's really no more need for this wonderful organization and the other wonderful organizations out there that address this. And hopefully that time will be very shortly nowadays.
I'm assuming it's not for every age that you go, right? It's mostly for certain ages. Is
Well,
that
basically, I
right?
pinpointed the organization for, let's say, 3, 4 to 18.
They're
There-
18 years old.
yeah.
Oh, so
Whatever, the pediatric.
there
There
still
are,
people 18 years old who are.
well, unfortunately, there's, let's say, one girl from Williamsburg that I was helping for 5 years. I made her party every year. So
Wow.
we started when she was younger, but when she was 22, we still made her a party.
So what do you do on Purim? I mean, like, how do these kids get it on Purim? You know, like, how would they feel the spirit of Purim?
Well, the kids, they're just, like, I one time checked to see if any kids in the hospital. Most of them go home for Purim.
Most of them go home for Purim.
Yeah, the
That's
doctors allow them
unbelievable.
to go home that one day and they come right back again. For the few patients that are in the hospital, because they try their best to come home for that day, and the people that are in the hospital, there are certain organizations that actually go down there and dance and sing whatever it is with them. So Baruch Hashem, as Jews, there's so many organizations that is just unbelievable.
Right. I know from actually, I worked with a child back in, when I was a little, few years back. I worked with a child who, a limping child. He went to Camp Simcha. So yeah, I'm sure you're affiliated probably with Camp Simcha as well, right?
No, we're not affiliated with anybody right now.
You're not affiliated
No,
with
we do our
Chai
own thing.
Lifeline?
No, we do our own thing. I respect every organization. I love them all. Because the thing is, one person can't do it. You have an army.
Right, that's
right?
right.
Imagine having an army
100%.
with just the Air Force. You're not really going to get much done. So you have different organizations. You have different types of organizations. Everybody does something different. Nobody does what I do. And nobody does what Chai Lifeline does.
Right.
And
So-
Baruch Hashem, we have this list. I have Rabbi Gold and special people like that. Baruch Hashem, Rabbi Krohn is with us. And, you know,
So Pesach Krohn is
Pesach
you
Krohn
guys
one time
vocal.
came down to visit Rabbi Landsman. He wrote us up in the book. And he's very pro GIGGL. He keeps calling me up to see how things are going. There are a lot of amazing people that people
he's
don't know
pro
about.
a lot of things, you know. He does so many things. But
Baruch
yeah.
Hashem.
So going back to how many Rabbi Gold, how many years you're affiliated with this terrific, amazing organization?
You know, it's like Menachem said before. It really started with the Batira of Rabbi Yisrael, and that was about 4 years ago.
So you started. I see Menachem here is like 4 years. I thought it's like 20 years already.
It feels like forever. It really feels like forever.
But I started it when it was ready, when it first got sick.
Because you started with Rabbi Landsman, yeah.
That's his daughter when she got sick.
Wow.
That was about 11 years ago.
So the these different patients you meet, right? So when you see the smile, what feeling is that you're getting when you're making them laugh, let's say, and smile? What the feeling is? What is the feeling?
You know, again, I just want to go back to what Menachem
I
said
mean, I
before.
obviously know the feeling because I did work with with these type of kids, and I know these type of kids, and I met these type of kids, and I didn't make them smile, but I know the feeling. But kids, I want you kids to understand, and people who are seeing this to understand how would you feel, and this is why we have an expert, Rabbi Gold and Menachem. Roseman, I'm always going to forget that name for some reason, but it's okay. I always have it on my contact over there. But this is why
You're still not my age,
Nisim, I'm almost there. I'm almost there.
You see, there's a time for like lights, camera, and then action. And that action moment is when you're together with the patient, together with the family. And again, this is as much as for the patients as for the family too. And during action, there really is no time to think. It's really just all on.
Right, but let's say after you met them, right? Let's say you have to meet the patient, you made them laugh, and how is the feeling afterwards? After you walk out, what's the feeling? I mean, obviously I know the feeling because I've been visiting those type of people,
You're just looking forward. You're just thinking in your mind that when is the next thing scheduled? Is it going to be moved up any earlier? Is there another event that I can go to or take a part in, or because you just feel amazing.
A question: do you attach to the patients, and sometimes you get this? We call it I don't know, called disappointing, or like unfortunately they passed away. What is the training basically that you have about it? I know that nurses, doctors, all these people that dealing with kind of sick people, as a lot of trying to train it, to
No, I
get.
hear what you're saying. So I'll tell you two things. Firstly is when the girl, the Chama Landsman, she was sick in the beginning. So I went to Rosh Hashiva, Rabbi
Left,
Zev
yeah.
left, and he came into America, and I caught him as soon as he came in because it was like 2 a.m. He came off the plane, and I said, "Listen, is there anything I could do to help her, get better?" He said, "Listen, whatever happens, that's what Hashem wants. That's the best." So I said, "Yeah, but Chas v'sholom. If that's what happens, that's what Hashem wants. That's
Right.
the best." So that mindset gets me past a lot. That in itself, because every time something happens, even in my personal life, listen, this is what Hashem wants. But you can't,
Right.
you can't tell God what to do. And number one, number two is that you just keep, you just got to keep strong. You got to keep going.
Well,
Things like this happen, and at the Levi's or at the Shivas, the parents or whatever, they keep coming over to you and they say they keep talking about the party, how much. So you feel like $1 million. At least you help them for that amount of time.
all right. So now I'm going to repeat what GIGGL stands for: giving inspiration, giving the gift of life. And what do you? Let's say they want the pushkas. Talking about the pushkas, we are running out of time, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, it's always. I'm telling you, it's always like I look at my watch and I always say, "Hey, we're running out of time." But if they want the pushkas, let's say they
Okay,
want
so
to get.
here's the story. First of all, if most people have internet, so if they want, they could go to giggle.org, and if they want to push it, they just email me and I'll get it to them. If they want perm cards, there's a link there to
Right.
perm cards. Every dollar goes directly to the
Who
organization.
put them together? Who did the whole?
Well, I work together with my web guy who has a designer there as well. His name is Heshi Friedman, and we did it together. I spent about 60, 70 hours, crazy amount of hours on getting this done.
This is like unbelievable to get. This is done in a hospital.
No, that was at his party in the hall.
in a hall.
Yeah.
1 second. Also, I missed the point. Is a party you take the patient to the hall? That's how we going.
So one more time. So basically, what I do is as follows. Okay, so let's say patient X is sick.
Yeah.
So
Obviously.
first of all, what I do is I get in touch with the parents, and I have to go through a whole list of things. Are they okay with me making the party? I go through the whole list, and then I go through each thing. I custom make that party for that patient. So when they get there, the food is what they like, the music is what they like, entertainment is what they like. I've heard many times kids saying, "How did you know I like this?" So Baruch Hashem, everything. Some people say, "Why do you have to bend backwards? You have to spend so much time." At the end of the day, when you bend backwards, and you put that extra time and a few $100s or whatever it is,
Right.
you see the difference. It makes everything worth it. Someone once came over to me at a party and said, "Listen, when you see the mother crying tears of joy and smiling at the same time, you know you did your job."
Oh,
So Baruch Hashem, I did that. So they either get perm cards online. We're working now on the Shana Teva cards, which hopefully is going to come out within about 2 months, 3 months, Mr. Shem. One of the things about our organization is we're all volunteers, which means every dollar someone donates,
meaning nobody gets paid.
nobody gets paid. And most of us put money into it. Nobody's taking money out of it. So every dollar someone donates goes directly.
Welcome to the club.
Yes, J-Root Radio is also an organization, but unfortunately, we don't do what GIGGL does. We maybe have a good time.
It's never too late to help GIGGL. So J-Root could be part of what GIGGL does too.
I would actually want to join. He said, if I'm not here next week, you'll know why.
Okay, I think that as you know that it's amazing with one individual, but when we are spread it on thousands, it's something that's very. But that's what drive us here in J-Root Radio to push and to continue working. We're not talking about money because money is not the case here because we don't have it. But we're really working. Everybody's volunteer here. And
Right, we care about having a good time, right?
Basically, just to give our listeners the same power of healing and encouragement, inspirational, shurim, everything. That's okay. This I'm not talking about J-Root right now. I just am talking
I
about.
know you're not talking about
this,
J-Root,
about
don't
your
worry.
organization. But we say that it's exactly. I would say that many times, the real MSTKM organization, and this is what my friend Rabbi Yossi Mizrahi always tell me, Nissim, listen, When you don't have money, it's siman. It's a sign that you're doing the good job. And this is that the Satan is fighting. You know, when you get
Okay, that's interesting.
okay, this is all true.
Well, we must be doing a good job.
All right.
That's great.
Okay.
I always say if everybody does just a little bit, we can move mountains.
We
If
can
we
move
only have
mountains,
two,
right?
three
This is
people,
what the other organizations tell me. The same thing. That's
I'm saying,
right.
but if you only have two, three people, killing themselves trying to get things done, it's a lot more difficult. But everybody got to do. Everybody should get involved. And if the organizations like this, like I said, I can't say enough times, everybody can do something. And if the kid wants to help out, they could make a fundraiser, make a cookie sale or a cake
Okay, so
sale.
how could since Purim is coming along in let's say in a month and a half, right? We got a month and a half to Purim,
March 20th, yeah.
right? So how could a kid on Purim help out these type of kids? Like, what help could kids do? What help could our community do? What help could everybody do to help these type of kids? Not just the organization itself. That
In past years, some of the kids in the neighborhood who go around at the collecting age, or whether they go with their families, they said, you know what, I want to dedicate Purim to help raise a little bit of money for the organization. And some children took it upon themselves. They were very successful. They went around to people and they said, hey, I have a pushka over here. I have some cards, or I have some, explain to people what the organization is all about. And Purim is a time of giving. People will respond. They will give. The best way to get involved is to go to the website, GIGGL.org, or we can send a text to the phone number over here. It's what's the number?
phone number is
It's on the pushka.
it is on the pushka. Let me read it off. 347-859-9347. Nisam, I noticed all organization numbers are starting with 347. My number is 347. Your number 347.
It's amazing discovery. I just you invent the wheel.
Right.
The pushka I'm showing you now, that's for stores and offices and things like that.
Right. So,
So if
obviously,
anybody knows of a store that would be happy to have a pushka there, it doesn't cost a penny to keep it there.
right. I don't know how many stores can use it, but I mean, I would love to help out. But so let's say they have a full pushka, right? They have a full pushka.
Okay.
Now, how do people send it out? How would people, that obviously don't let's say they won't want to send it into they'll call you up,
Either call or email me and it'll get picked up.
right? And or they email they'll call her Rabbi Gold. Is that yeah?
With that number, that's the number of GIGGL. So they could call
Right.
that.
So
for example, do you I would say that encourage kids to write letters of for example, I know that we have here few letters on our wall, and many more that were sitting in our drawers that kids and
how come I don't see them then?
you just mentioned that you want to take it off one of them. So no, this is something I would say that is part of the I would say participate with the guy and the girl, with one of this. What do you think about it?
So let me tell you what I think about it. Literally every day, every single day, literally, I get at least a minimum of 5 people come over to me, giving me a list of ideas that they want me to do for them, to make it for GIGGL. The only problem is whenever I say, okay, that's a wonderful idea, when do you want to start? They run away. So you got to remember, I'm only one person.
Right.
Okay, I love these ideas. I have a list of all my ideas myself. That's why if you have other, like you said, kids want to get involved, and to have, let's say, one person want to be in charge of all these things.
So kids who want to get involved, again, the number would be 347-859-9347. Or you can email info@GIGGL. And kids, you don't email, you just call, because we're better off if
No, but I want you just add one. So add one more. I would
one more question?
Participate. I think the teacher in the classroom can do a tremendous job.
Definitely.
And the
teacher
well, can take a whole classroom to write. I tell you, I remember myself in the war in the army, and we used to get bombarded with letters with kids and stuff.
The outpouring of love from the kids in the class. I know that I received that when I was sick as a child. A nice out for a week, and then everyone sent cards, and it was really a beautiful thing. There are poster boards also that get put out by we'll call them simchas, the parties that we make, and those boards have pictures of the people, and they also have signing boards. So people come and they sign and they write a little note, such a type of note like you're
Meaning
saying.
they'll
Rabbi
sign their
Nissim.
name as get well soon.
And they'll write something, and they'll take that home with them and have that like as a memento too. It would definitely be a wonderful thing to have such a board, with those letters from the, this is from the fourth grade, fifth grade class in
really
Parvadas.
wonderful
Thinking
idea.
about you, get well soon. It would light up a person's day. So, and like you said, Rabbi Nissim, that and you mentioned before also that when somebody goes ahead and shows up, what that does, and just being happy, being besimcha.
Right, just being around the child and seeing how he goes through, and even talking to the child can make such a big impression.
Just to the point of the letters, I just want to mention that you go into some of the rooms too with some of the patients, and there are letters on the wall from family members, and there are pictures of flowers and different things that people drew for them, and you just know, and the nurses know, and the doctors know, that this is an upbeat person. This person has a higher chance of survival. This person is someone who has, instead of looking at, you know what the walls look like, they're just white walls. That's what they look like. Instead of looking at those walls, they're looking at a plastered wall with notes and hearts and smiley faces, and that goes a very long way toward being a part of the cure and putting a person just in the right mindset that they want to be helped.
This
they
is
want to move to the next
unbelievable.
thing.
All right.
Yeah, I want to add one thing very quickly.
This is going to be the last moment.
Yeah,
Okay.
This is very, very important. Everybody's 100% right. You come and you're cheering up the patient. That's great. However, I'm not sure how often you're in the hospitals or not, but there are many, many times that a patient
Many of us are not in the hospital that
Okay,
often.
so being with that girl Nechama for 5 years, in and out, watching the different things happening, there are many times, even when someone has a headache, do you want someone to come and start jumping all over the place? So basically, there's a lot of times that someone try to cheer up the kid is so sick and headaches and fever and this and that. All they need is someone there just to listen to them, to talk to them, help clean the room up, do that. So not always is something to come jumping, enjoying. And I one time took her to a restaurant, and there's somebody who came in who was hoping to, bring joy to her, and he was jumping around, and she kept saying, "Please stop! I don't feel stop." But he wanted to make her happy and everything. She just ended up crying and leaving.
Right.
So you got to realize, someone who goes to these things. Exactly.
Yes,
So that's what I teach all the people that go to the volunteers that go to the hospitals. That's why I just don't like sending anybody to go to the hospitals. You have to train them. You have to explain to them how it works. Sometimes just being there, holding their hand, explaining to them, saying, "Listen, we're here, no problem. Whatever you need some food, need a drink." Sometimes it's great to jump around and jump, whenever they're feeling better. Especially with kids with cancer, there are certain days that they just, let's say they just had the chemo. There's certain, I think, a week of it, I forgot what it's called, where they can't do anything.
They have the radiation therapy.
Either radiation or chemo. So they can't do anything. I forgot what it's called again. And then after that, they get a little better. Then you can jump around and this and that. So there's a time for everything.
There's a time limit, right?
Exactly. There's a time for everything.
Right. All right. This was Menachem Roseman and Rabbi Gold. And I'm Kishroni Hour. I'm Moshe Grunfeld here with Rabbi Nissim and Menachem Roseman. And we were discussing about GIGGL, a very good organization. And if you would like a pushka, you can email info, info @giggle.org. And you could go to the website. That's the best way to donate. And if you want to join.
A store that wants to put a pushkin.
And if any stores would like a pushka, please do not hesitate to contact info @giggle.org. info @giggl.org. Or you could 347-859-9347. This is the Kishroni Hour. I'm Moshe Grunfeld. And we're going to have some wonderful programming. Don't go away.
Anywhere, anytime, for everyone. This is jrootradio.com.
The pizza that everyone knows.